I was in India helping to build a community for people who are blind, enabling them to share accessible content with each other. So something like a YouTube for the blind across the world. Blind people cannot access content very easily, so this would have been something that could change the lives of blind people.
I was a senior vice president and head of a global practice group for a for-profit global public relations firm. My history is not particularly as an entrepreneur, but it's definitely as an intrapreneur, which is every place I've ever worked, I've started a new program or built something new that didn't exist before. So in the case of my last job in public relations, I started a social impact group that was global, that for the first time ever in the history of this firm started to work with nonprofits and foundations as clients.
10여 년 전에 북한 인권과 탈북자 인권 문제를 다루는 한국의 NGO에서 국제 캠페인 활동을 시작을 했었고, 그 후에는 직접 중국에 가서 중국으로 온 탈북 여성들의 인신매매 문제를 조사하는 현장 활동을 펼치기도 했습니다. 문제와 문제가 속한 그 현실을 기존의 카테고리나 기존의 접근 방식으로만 바라보고 해결하려고 하는 것에 한계를 많이 느꼈고요. 그래서 좀 더 건설적이고 창의적인 문제 해결을 하기 위해서 새로운 단체를 설립을 해서 아스피아라는 단체를 설립해서 활동을 하게 됐습니다. 북한과 한국 그리고 중국을 포함한 이 동북아시아 지역에서 인권과 개발이라는 두 영역을 서로 연결하는 새로운 플랫폼 단체를 만들어서 활동을 했었고, 그 과정에서 사실 아쇼카도 알게 되었어요. 그래서 아쇼카를 통해서 처음 소셜 안토프러너라는 개념을 접했는데, 비로소 그때 제 자신이 기존의 그 인권 운동가라는 그 틀보다는 소셜 안토프러너에 좀 더 가깝다라는 생각을 하게 됐었습니다.
One of them was the first initiative to set up for disabled people to have their own ability when they come out of hospitals to live independently, creating a set of the first independent living center in the United States. I had also done some work in Indonesia on working with the impacts of timber exploitation on local communities there. In all of those experiences, I was exposed to social entrepreneurs, and so when Bill Drayton proposed the idea that there were such things. I didn't even know they were social entrepreneurs until Bill explained to me, and I immediately saw them because I could think in my own life you could spot the difference between system-changing social entrepreneurs and those who weren't. And so, when Bill proposed the idea of starting Ashoka, it made perfect sense to me, and I could immediately think of people in Indonesia that we could bring into such an initiative because at the time Ashoka was seeking to pilot that idea. The selection process for finding social entrepreneurs in both India and
Indonesia. As someone who's been an entrepreneur, it's really hard to work in a typical organization. It's not possible after being an entrepreneur to work in a typical organization. Ashoka is one of those unique organizations which actually is a home for entrepreneurs, actually a place where they can come and create. The challenge they face is how to work with other entrepreneurs, but that's that next great challenge that every entrepreneur really wants to take on, how to work with a collective of entrepreneurs. So for me, that's what really makes Ashoka attractive, being a home for people who are entrepreneurial.
아쇼카는 소셜 안토프러너들과 수많은 체인지 메이커들의 든든한 전략적 동반자라고 생각을 합니다. 그리고 Everyone Change Maker라는 그 비전에 대한 확고한 신념을 가진 사람들의 집합체이기도 하고요. 변하는 세계에서 또 그 안에 있는 수많은 사회 문제들을 보면서 우리가 압도당하기가 쉬울 수 있는데, 그게 아니라 해결책들이 이런 문제들을 압도할 수 있는 그런 세상이 가능하다라는 확신을 가지고 그걸 만들기 위해서 일하고 있고요. 또 그 일을 하는 과정에서 굉장히 전략적으로 사고하고 또 많은 파트너들과 함께 일을 하고 또 같은 커뮤니티 안에서도 팀 오브 팀스라는 방식으로 굉장히 융통성 있게 창의적으로 협력해서 일을 하는 곳이 바로 아쇼카이고요. 그런 아쇼카의 일하는 방식 때문에 많은 시너지 효과와 또 그런 혁신들이 가능하다고 생각을 합니다.
I have worked with Ashoka from a perspective as a member of the International Board of Directors for 28 years. And then, just to give you a sense of why I think it's such a powerful workplace, I asked to leave the board And so I could join the staff and work with the Africa program. And the reason is that Ashoka is full of really smart, really dedicated people, young people for the most part, from all over the world who understand the importance of social entrepreneurship and the historical moment and why social entrepreneurship needs to be understood in the fullest sense of the word, not just in the sense of any particular passing ideology like social enterprise or social business, but that the whole philosophy and spirit of what it means to be a social entrepreneur, how important that is to civil society in the world. And so this is the most dynamic, fun place in the world. We're constantly exploring new ideas. We're constantly trying to find the best people to partner with. There is no better place to work, I believe.
Ashoka as a workplace is unique. I have never worked in a place as fabulous and sometimes as challenging as Ashoka. And why I say challenging is because, again, Ashoka doesn't believe in hierarchy or bureaucracy. So we don't want to put that layer of rules and regulations and policies and procedures on everybody that stifles creativity and innovation. And working in a place like Ashoka where we hire entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs, and one thing entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs don't like are rules and regulations. So sometimes it's a little frustrating to work here. Sometimes you could think it's chaotic, but at the same time, it translates into the freedom to be creative, the freedom to be innovative, the freedom to be empowered, and in the long run, that's really what makes a great workplace.